Hello, Imbibers. A very good evening to all of you once again. Children, we are here to discuss the another concept from the how do organisms reproduce and from the topic sexual reproduction, which is the menstrual cycle. Yes, so children, in the last session, I have told you what happened. We have discussed about the female reproductive system in detail, and there I have told you what happens when the egg is not fertilized, when what happens when the male and the female gametes do not fuse. So what happens that? So we're going to discuss that in that today's session. So children, before we start, let me introduce you to myself. I am Anam Khan. I'll be your biology expert, and this session we're going to discuss about the menstrual cycle and why when the egg is not fertilized, what happens. So yes, we're going to discuss about that in detail. But before that, I want to ask you, have you attempted your pre-class assignment before coming to the session? Yes. So children, it helps you to understand what is going to be taught in the class, and after the session gets over, please do attempt the past Embibe assignment so that you know whether you have understood the concept or not. Please always go through them. It's very important for your benefit only. And yes, children, we're going to almost complete your syllabus on time. Yes, we're going to basically complete how do organisms reproduce, and soon we're going to start with the another chapter, which is heredity. And heredity, of course, we're going to discuss about that in detail also, and then the environment. I'll try as soon as possible to complete your syllabus before your pre-boards and before your board examination, and we're going to have lots of revision sessions also. We're going to have lots of practice session also. Let's discuss about the menstrual cycle. The very first thing, children, is that this chapter is how do organisms reproduce, and the topics to be covered in this chapter is introduction to reproduction and modes of sexual reproduction in lower organisms. These two topics have been already covered. And next we have sexual reproduction, which is right now. Today we're going to discuss about that. And the next chapter is the reproductive health. We're going to also discuss about the reproductive health in detail. Yes. So children, these are the particular topics. We are on the verge of completion of sexual reproduction topic. And then we're going to talk about the reproductive health. Let's discuss that. Today we're going to discuss about two things, the very most important part of the female reproductive system, which is the uterus, and what happens when the particle egg do not fertilize, which is the menstrual cycle. We're going to discuss both the important concepts related to the sexual reproduction. So very first thing, children, as you know, let's have a quick recap what we have studied yesterday. Yesterday we have studied about the female reproductive system. We have discussed about the parts of reproductive system, and each and every part has a specific function to perform. That is, we have already discussed. Yes, if you have missed this session, we have also discussed about the female sex hormones. Yes, what does they do for the development of the female reproductive system, and what secondary sexual characteristics is being developed by the female sex hormones secreted by the adrenal gland and of course the ovaries. Yes, so children, this is we have discussed in the yesterday's session. Do not, if you have missed this session by any chance, if you couldn't attend this session, you can always go and watch the past Embibe sessions on the Embibe app, so that you can basically revise everything and you can go through it. If you have any questions, you can come back to me. I'll be here answering all your doubts. Yes, shall we start our today's session? Yes, let's start our today's session. The very first thing, children. So, in 2006, a woman in the United Kingdom gave a birth to a triplets. Imagine. Yes, giving a birth to triplets, of course, one child requires so much of attention and so much of support from the reproductive system. A woman was able to give birth to triplets. Yes, among all three babies, two were identical twins and developed in the one womb, and third developed in the another womb. Imagine. Yes, this is basically, of course, this is Kanish double fertilization. We have already discussed when we're discussing about the fertilization in the plants. Double fertilization is not a concept over here. Okay, so children, they have basically, as you can see, in one part of the uterus, there were two babies developed, and in the one part of the uterus, yes, the other baby was developed. Yes, I'm not saying the uterus are in parts, but this happened in this one such case. Yes, why we're going to discuss about that, what is capable of giving rise to the uterus, what is capable of actually giving an unusual birth to three infants. Yes, so children, uterus didiphyllus, presence of two wombs in a female body. Yes, this is so unusual. This is not normal. Yes, generally everybody has one uterus, every female has only one uterus, but this condition is called uterus didiphyllus. This is a presence of two wombs in a female body. Yes, as you can see, one here, one here. So in the female body, who basically give rise to the what? to triplets, 2 were developing in one part, but they were identical twins, and 3 were developing one or the other part which was not identical, which was different, developing in the different womb. So just this is a uterus condition. This is an unusual condition. I am not saying this is abnormal, but this such a certain condition exists in the uterus. Yes, so this is the reason that she was able to give rise to the triplets, because the presence of 2 wombs in the female reproductive system. Clear? This is the reason. This is a condition called uterus diadelphys. Okay, so children, this is the reason. Let's discuss more about this part of the reproductive system, which is the uterus. So of course, yesterday only I have given you a brief introduction. Our discussion of the uterus have already happened. Let's discuss that in more detail because it's very important. So children, part of the female reproductive system located in the pelvic region, present between the bladder and the rectum. So children, yes, this is, as you can see, let me just zoom it for you. As you can see, this is rectum, this is your rectum, and this is your urinary bladder, and between them there is a presence of uterus. Yes, this spear shaped body, as you can see, this is where it is basically present. This is how it looks. So this is your uterus, this is your urinary bladder, and the back it is your rectum. So children, it is basically present between the bladder and the rectum. Yes, it is present between both of them. And what is womb, Kanish? The womb is a uterus only. Yes, which support the child development inside the female body. Yes, what is rectum? Rectum is for the storage of the waste food material. Do you remember the life processes chapter, excretion chapter? We have explained you the excretory system. They have basically told you what is the function of the rectum. Rectum stores the waste material before it is being removed by your body. Yes, okay. So children, this is how your uterus is being basically present between the rectum and the urinary bladder, and it is located in the pelvic region. It is a part of female reproductive system. Okay. Yes. Yes, children, it stores here, okay, in the rectum. As we talk more about the uterus, next we have, so what is the shape of a uterus? It is an inverted shape and it is muscular. Yesterday also I have told you it is a inverted pear shaped and muscular organ. The reason it is muscular, it is stretchable, that when it is going to nourish the baby, when the particular embryo is going to be implanted in the uterus, it is going to get immense attention, care. All the particular thing will be basically the support of the development of the baby will be given by the uterus only. So yes, it is going to stretch as the baby grows. Yes, for till the gestation period is over. Yes, that is why it is a muscular organ. It stretches out. Yes, select the uterus to see what is inside. Let's discuss about the internal situation of the uterus. It is an inverted pear shaped structure. Yes, and it is basically typically muscular. It is stretchable. Yes, let's discuss what is the internal organization of the uterus. So children, as you can see over here, the cervix is the lower part of the uterus. This is the cervix, this is the lower part of the uterus, and the cervical canal connects the uterus to the vagina. Yes, what is this? This is a birth canal. Yes, this is the birth canal, and the cervix connects the uterus and vagina. Yes, this is how it's been connected. This is connected through the cervix. The cervical canal connects the uterus to the vagina. Cervix is the lower part of the uterus. As you can see, this is your uterus. Yes, this is the cervix and this is the vagina. This is the birth canal. So cervix is the lower part of the uterus. As we more talk about the uterus, what is the function of exactly the uterus is? Yes, yes, as we talk about the uterus, just a second. Okay, the asset must be misbehaving. As you can see, children, this is the uterus, that is the cervix. Yes. Okay, let's just leave it. Okay, talking about the uterus, children, it receives eggs from the ovaries. It prepares itself to receive fertilized egg and nourish the fertilized egg. So what is the basic function of the uterus? As you can see, the most important, okay, क्या फंक्शन है यूट्रस का? यूट्रस का ये फंक्शन है कि जो भी पर्टिकुलर, कल ही बता दिया था कि फेलोपियन ट्यूब्स में क्या होता है, फर्टिलाइजेशन होता है. द फर्टिलाइजेशन, द फ्यूजन ऑफ मेल एंड द फीमेल गैमीट टेक्स प्लेस इन दी फेलोपियन ट्यूब. फेलोपियन ट्यूब में फर्टिलाइजेशन एंड द फ्यूजन ऑफ गैमीट्स होने के बाद जो फर्टिलाइज्ड एग है, ओके, यस, ओके, तो फर्टिलाइज्ड एग है वो जाके किस में इम्प्लांट हो जाएगा, वो जाके किस में इम्प्लांट हो जाएगा, यूट्रस में इम्प्लांट हो जाएगा. और यूट्रस अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करता है टू रिसीव द फर्टिलाइज्ड एग. तो जब फ्यूचर में जो भी पर्टिकुलर ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट होगा एम्ब्रियो का, ओके, तो पूरा का पूरा नरिशमेंट प्रोवाइड करना उस फर्टिलाइज्ड एग को, दो पूरा का पूरा एनवायरनमेंट प्रोवाइड करना, सो दैट दे कैन बी अ प्रॉपर ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द एम्ब्रियो. यस, ओके, सिंपल. सो दिस इज व्हाट द यूट्रस है. द मेन फंक्शन, सबसे मेन फंक्शन यूट्रस का है कि जब फर्टिलाइजेशन हो जाए फेलोपियन ट्यूब में, उसके बाद वो फर्टिलाइज्ड एग जाके इम्प्लांट हो जाएगा यूट्रस की वॉल पे. और जब वो यूट्रस की वॉल पे इम्प्लांट हो जाएगा तो वहाँ पर सारा नरिशमेंट उसे प्रोवाइड होगा फॉर द गुड ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द एम्ब्रियो until the baby is ready for the birth. Yes, it is going to be take care, it is going to be supported by the uterus only. So this is the main function of the uterus. Clear? Yes or no? As we talk more about the uterus, next we have what more functions does the uterus perform? As you can see, children, this is what? This is your fetus. Yes, this is your uterus, this is your cervix, and this is your vagina. This is how the fetus lies inside the uterus. This is exactly position of the uterus, and when this is how the cervix, and this is your birth canal, and that is how the baby is being delivered outside the female body. Yes, yes, kabhi basically egg, there is always a one egg, but sometimes more than one sperm is going to, basically more than one male gamete go and fertilize the egg. That happens. Okay, that is unusual, but that happens. Okay, as we discuss about the uterus, children, it protects and provide nutrition to the fertilized egg. Yes, it is going to basically provide nutrition to the fertilized egg. Increases in size accommodate the fetus. This is what I was talking about. क्योंकि यूट्रस कैसा है, मस्कुलर है और कैसा है, स्ट्रेचेबल है. मस्कुलर है इसलिए स्ट्रेचेबल है. सो जब स्ट्रेचेबल है, उसकी स्ट्रेचेबिलिटी जैसे जैसे फीटस ग्रो करता जाएगा इनसाइड द यूट्रस, इनसाइड द फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम, वैसे वैसे यूट्रस का साइज भी बढ़ता चला जाएगा. एग्जैक्टली. सो चिल्ड्रन, ये अकोमोडेट करेगा फीटस की ग्रोथ को. यस, so yes, this is what, that is why the uterus is muscular and stretchable. जैसे जैसे पूरा fertilized egg डेवलप होता जाएगा, एक फीटस में कन्वर्ट होता जाएगा, फीटस को पूरा नरिशमेंट, प्रॉपर केयर एंड सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करना, ये सारा का सारा काम है यूट्रस का. ओके, एंड फीटस रिमेन्स इन द यूट्रस अंटिल इट मैच्योर्स. यस चिल्ड्रन, यू नो द जेस्टेशन पीरियड इज अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 8 to 9 months. तब तक फीटस यूट्रस में रहेगा. It will be supported by the uterus with all the nourishment it needed for the proper growth and development until the baby is basically moved out through the birth canal. After the gestation period is over, until the fetus is mature enough to be delivered. Okay? Okay? This much. So children, ये काम है uterus का कि nutrition provide करना और fetus की growth and development को support करना. Clear? As we move forward talking more about it, what happens? Now that's a question, children. What happens when there is an unfertilized egg? ठीक है, there is no fertilized egg, there is no fusion of male and female gamete. But what happens जब fusion of male and female gamete का नहीं होता है, exactly unfertilized egg है. So unfertilized egg, uterus unfertilized egg है basically. So children, अनफर्टिलाइज्ड एग है, फ्यूजन नहीं हुआ है, तो भाई अनफर्टिलाइज्ड एग को रिमूव कर दिया जाएगा यूट्रस विद द ब्लड एंड द म्यूकस. यस, दिस अनफर्टिलाइज्ड एग will be removed from the uterus, and of course the particular lining which was basically the uterus was getting ready for the receiving of the fertilized egg. बट जब fertilized egg uterus में नहीं receive होगा तो वो blood के साथ, mucus के साथ, the lining would be removed, the unfertilized egg would be removed. Okay, clear? So children, let's see what happens exactly when the unfertilized egg is there. As you can see, chalo, now place the uterus into a correct location. Quickly, now place the uterus at the correct location. Correct location में let's place the uterus at the correct location. The correct location is near between the urinary bladder and the rectum. Let's discuss more about, so how does the oostrate expel the unfertilized egg and out of the female reproductive system? So children, this is what I was talking about. When there is an unfertilized egg, which is the fusion of gamete has not taken place, it is going to be removed. That lining is going to be removed. Yes, the uterus lining is going to be removed and the unfertilized egg will be removed from the female reproductive system. But how? Let's discuss about that. So children, various superstitions about menstrual bleeding exist all over the world. As you know, there's a lot of superstitions about the menstruation. It's a very normal process. It's a very basic process. It's a very human process, simple process. There's nothing very unusual about it. It's just a system of the body, just like you digest food, just like there is an excretion, thus there is a circulation. Exactly similar manner, the menstruation is the particular cycle which only takes place in the female to prepare the female body for the reproduction, to maintain the race, to maintain the continuity of the race. So these are just normal particular phenomena, normal particular function which is taking place inside the female body. As we discussed about the menstruation, children, this is a fact that it basically represents changes in the female reproductive system, and it is 20 days 8 long, starts at the puberty and until the menopause. So about the menstruation is basically starts at the puberty. Yes, the female sex hormones which is basically assisting the whole development of the female reproductive system. Here the whole 28-day cycle, the maintenance, the release of the egg, the unfertilized egg removal, everything will be also maintained by the female sex hormones. Yes, and it is going to start at the puberty, when is basically the secondary sexual characteristic will develop. The cycle also starts at the puberty and it will go on throughout the lifetime until there is an age of menopause, which is approximately 45 to 50. Yes, this happens. So this is what the menstrual cycle is all about, represent the changes in the female reproductive system. It's a 28-day long cycle and it starts at the puberty and continue till the menopause is achieved. So children, let's discuss about it. What is menstrual cycle? So, okay, involves changes in some parts of the female reproductive system. Changes occur due to the rise and fall of hormones in the female body. So children, what are the female hormones? Estrogen and progesterone, all of you know that. Okay, yes, that is the uterine layer. Yes, endometrium. That is what we call as endometrium. The thick lining which sheds when the egg is not fertilized is called endometrium. Is called endometrium. The thick lining which sheds when the egg is not fertilized. And how this happens? This happens because the egg is not fertilized. The uterus is ready to receive the fertilized egg, but there is no egg fertilization. So now, to complete the cycle, we have to shed the endometrium lining. We are going to clean the whole environment and we are going to start the cycle again. And whole this cycle, the whole changes in the reproductive parts and the whole particular cycle takes place in because of the hormones, which are some hormones, especially the estrogen and the progesterone, luteinizing hormone. There's a lot of hormones which involved in the menstrual cycle. As we talk more about it, children, menstruation, which is uterus removing the unfertilized egg. Yes, जब egg fertilize, the fusion of egg and egg cell and the male gamete has not taken place. So the uterus will remove the unfertilized egg by shedding its thick inner lining. Unfertilized egg leaves the vagina along with the blood tissues and the mucus. Vaginal bleeding is called the menstruation or a period. Yes. So children, the unfertilized egg, the mucus, the blood lining would be removed through the particular uterus, throughout the vagina, which is also a birth canal. Yes, it is basically happening. It is going to basically removed from the whole birth canal through in the form of a blood, in the form of a mucus, in the form of a tissues. It will be removed, and this is how the unfertilized egg will be shed. The inner lining of the endometrium, in the lining of the uterus will be shed, and the vaginal bleeding will happen, and also this is what we called as menstruation. Simple. What happens when the egg do not fertilize? When the egg is not fertilized, simple happens, the layer of the uterus, the blood layer, the endometrial lining will basically shed, and the mucus and the tissues and the unfertilized egg will be removed with that. So this happens when there is the unfertilized egg which is present, and this happens because of the hormones. Yes, hormones are basically responsible for that. As I drag the slider, as you can see children, this is egg which is basically been released by the ovary. So now there is no fertilization taking place, but now with this endometrium lining thickening is basically happening, and as the egg reaches to the uterus, this is unfertilized egg, it will be removed by the vagina. Yes, in the form of a blood, mucus, and of course the tissue. So this happens in the menstruation. Simple. Okay, the blood lining, the mucus, the egg, unfertilized egg will be removed up, and this is what you called as menstruation. Clear? Next we have, so children, a particular menstruation period lasts for about 2 to 8 days, an average cycle of shedding the whole lining. The unfertilized egg is basically going to be done. Okay, it's going to be basically done. The whole removal of the unfertilized egg, the removal of the endometrium lining, the removal of the mucus, and of course the tissues, this whole shedding will approximately take place in 2 to 8 days of the cycle. Yes, in the month 2 to 8 days will be totally dedicated for the removal of the endometrium lining. Clear? Next, come on, quickly drag the part of the female reproductive system. Yet quickly drag and drop the correct part of the female reproductive system. Yes? बहुत सिंपल प्रोसेस है, अनफर्टिलाइज्ड एग नहीं है. ओके, तो वो क्या होगा, वो रिमूव कर दिया जाएगा फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम से थ्रू दी वेजाइना इन द फॉर्म ऑफ व्हाट, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ब्लड, म्यूकस एंड टिश्यू. बस इतनी सी बात है. यस, और जो बेसिकली लाइनिंग है वो यूट्रस पे एंडोमेट्रियम लाइनिंग है जो उसके साथ शेड हो जाएगी, बिकॉज यूट्रस खुद को प्रिपेयर कर रहा होता है कि वो फर्टिलाइज्ड एग को रिसीव करेगा और उसे नरिशमेंट देगा, उसे ग्रोथ में हेल्प करेगा. बट ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ, अनफर्टिलाइज्ड है वो भी आ जाएगा फेलोपियन ट्यूब से यूट्रस में एंड वो भी रिमूव कर दिया जाएगा. एंड अगेन द साइकिल प्रोसेस स्टार्ट्स until and unless the particular fusion of gametes takes place, the fertilization takes place and the process will stop. There will be no shedding of the inner lining once the fusion of gamete will take place for the next 7 to 9 months of, until the fetus is basically born, until the birth of the child is happening. There will be no shedding of blood because that is basically cushioning the whole fetus for the proper growth and development. Now quickly drag and drop the correct part. Okay. Simple, this is the uterus and that's the ovary. So, Trias period lasted from 15 to 28th April, on which date her menstrual cycle will begin. What do you think that the menstrual cycle will begin in case of this particular female? Yes? Read the question carefully and then answer. simply 15th. Okay, next 15 is going to be D. So children, what we have started today, we have discussed about the whole uterus, the part particular which is absolutely important when it comes to the female reproductive system. It prepares the particular female reproductive system to receive the fertilized eggs and provide the excessive nourishment during the development of the fetus until it is being delivered outside the body. So we have discussed about the uterus lining, which is basically endometrium lining, which develops over the time, but due to unfertilized egg which has been not fertilized in the fallopian tube goes to the uterus and it is being removed from the body. It is being removed from the female reproductive system in the form of a blood, mucus and of course the tissue through the vaginal opening, which is the birth canal also. So children, this is what we have studied, and the whole process is being assisted by hormones. Yes, and that is a particular hormone which is going to basically understand by the particular, these are the hormones will be assisting the whole process. Okay, so this is what we have studied. Children, can eggs brought at the supermarket hatch? So this is something going to discuss. Do you think what we basically bring from the supermarket, those eggs can hatch and basically develop a chicken? No, they of course not, because they've been not kept in the incubation. So this is what is the Embibe app. You can log in through your phone number, select your CBSE 10 standard, select your language, select home page button, go for the Embibe live classes, and you can see this is right now going on class. This is the upcoming classes, children. This is the today upcoming class in these exam classes for the next 7 days. You can basically go and register for the upcoming classes. Next, we're going to talk about the reproductive health. Then we're going to talk about the methods of birth control. So do not miss this session. Please register. You can learn, you can practice, you can test through this particular app. It is the one-stop solution for everything. Please explore this app. Yes, okay, and we're going to practice a lot of questions out of this. Yes, after the session completed, Karthik, after one particular concept is being taught in one class, doesn't matter how much long it's going to last. Okay, there is no fixed thing. So children, we can practice lots of questions related to it. You can test yourself. You can see how much you have achieved through this particular session. Yes. So children, please go and explore this app. This is going to help you a lot with the learning process. Okay. Next session, we're going to discuss about the reproductive health in detail. We're going to see exactly how the reproductive health is to be maintained. Yes. And how the particular methods of birth control. Okay. Next we have, okay, this is the Embibe Lens app, okay, where you can basically download the particular app. You can scan the text. What you have to do, open your textbook, scan the text. It will highlight all the keywords and will show you everything in the 3D. So please go and explore this app in detail. Yes, please children, explore the Embibe app also. Embibe, what you have to do, you have to always register for the upcoming classes, attempt the pre-class assignment, and after the session gets over, go for the past Embibe assignment. Is going to help you a lot for understanding the concept. Yes, and you can ask question after basically that. And we're going to almost complete this chapter soon, and we're going to have lots of practice sessions, and we're going to have lots of revision sessions also. What is this? This is nothing. This is your Embibe Telegram channel. Just scan the text. Okay. Go to the home page, Nitish, and there will be Embibe live classes. Click on the home page button at the top. And there, will you scroll down, there will be Embibe live classes. Yes? Okay? Simple. What do you have to do? Click on this home page button. Yes, this is the home page button. Click on this. This is the Embibe live classes. This is the Embibe class. My home, Embibe live classes. These are the upcoming classes. Yes? This is what? This is where basic come. Okay? So children, we'll meet again for the next session. Until then, please take care. Keep imbibing. Bye-bye.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.